Hi there. It seems that most people have taken the position concerning all the rumors of the potential divorce with a grain of salt. People are mostly saying, yeah, I need something a little bit more tangible. I need to see it to believe it. And so I've kind of also done that, steered clear. Like I said, I need some sort of evidence, something a little bit more official than a lack of information about the divorce. But even so, I thought it would be fun today to look at some of the reactions on Twitter, both from the more serious ones to the funnier ones, and also, I'm sorry, not Twitter, X, but also to look at how the Sussex Squad is handling the rumors. Just for fun, just a little something that give us a little bit more of a laugh. And I have to say, I expected this to be kind of a quicker video where I would just, take a couple things from X and make a video about it. But this actually became one of the harder ones to do because there were so many things to sift through and so many good things that I couldn't include just from sheer limitations of time. So here's what we got. We're going to start with where this rumor came from, and I will be the first one to admit this is where I saw it first. This is Royal Commentator Barrister Law USA on X. She's great. Make sure you follow her. This was the first thing I saw. Having said that, I know that as you go through some of her posts, you find out she got it from a tweet by Bookworm. So I'm not saying that Royal Commentator was necessarily the first to say this. I know that there was some discussion between her and Barkjack, which is Teresa Longo fans. I'm not saying that she was the only one to say it. This is where I got the information from. So this was my first thing, and obviously right away, I just got a notice Prince Harry filed for divorce. It's official, and that obviously got my attention very quickly. Then, if you read a little bit further into her tweets, you see that she says at one point on this evening, it was October 23rd in the evening, obviously, 9:26 p.m. If you see that, you see a little bit further that she's like, that's it. I've got information coming in from a bunch of different sources, and I'm turning it off for the night. Because you could tell that she was a little bit inundated with a bunch of different bits of information, and that at one point she kind of just said, tomorrow is another day. So this was kind of the last thing she said this night, and I will openly admit not everybody agreed with her. Other people were saying different things. Then she ended up getting a lot of backlash because this is what she says as she goes to bed on the 23rd, and then obviously everyone expected on the 24th for more information to follow. And she still didn't have more information. And so there was a bit of a tussle until finally she came out with this. And as far as I was concerned, this really kind of cleared things up very easily for me. It's obviously, this is subjective. You can form your own conclusions and make your own decisions. But when I read this, things started to make a lot of sense to me. So the next thing that she said, she came out on the 25th saying, is it the 25th? Yeah, 25th or 26th. I can't read it. I think it's 25th. All things are done for reasons that are not always apparent. What you know publicly. The king and the queen are on a successful tour. Prince Harry tries to throw another bomb. In response, the press got crickets. Prince Harry did not tell you his location in order to be in the spotlight again. Remember, the book release date was set when the book deal was signed. Why is Prince Harry not out peddling it? Nothing. No one even knows where he is. Where are the announcements from either side the marriage is not over? Complete silence. Why would Prince Harry not rebuke the story to upstage his father while he is on tour? After everything Prince Harry has done to his father. You all really think I would firebomb King Charles' royal tour or post BS? And then I saw the king and queen looking very relaxed and happy in Samoa. Perhaps Harry is being tested. If that is true, put your hard hat on and figure out what it means. And maybe they need to sort this out privately, which is why I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So, little cryptic, but giving a lot of information all the same. That there is something going on, whether it's that Harry is the one keeping it silent, whereas Meghan might have dropped that bomb in order to try and steal attention from King Charles' tour of Australia. Don't know. Is this what is actually happening? And Harry is staying silent intentionally until the tour is over. We don't know. I mean, now the tour is over, so still haven't heard anything. So all we can do at this point is wonder. But I think there are a lot of clues in there that bring up one point. There's one recurring theme that I'm reading out of that. It's that Harry is not going to piss off his father at this time. The only reason, after everything that's gone on for the last 6 years, that Henry would not be pissing off his father is if he needs him. And the only reason he would need him is if there's something happening. Again, this is all my speculation. This is my interpretation of it. Do your own research, form your own conclusions. I'm just sharing with you what I'm getting from these things. On the 26th, she says, wherever Prince Harry is, I will keep him in my thoughts and prayers, not because he deserves it, but because he needs it, likely more than any person I know right now. That I will gladly do for the King and Queen, the royal family, our late Queen, and Prince Philip. So clearly, and I do believe that the only thing that would keep Harry so absent right now would be if he's in a lot of trouble. And that trouble it could be the diddler, could be whatever's going on in Hollywood, it could be trouble with Meghan, or it could just be emotional. I mean, I think we all suspect that there is some drug involvement for Harry. And so I could see any or all of those things potentially being what's on his plate right now. And I would say that when she says, not because he deserves it, because he needs it. What does he need it for? Well, that we don't know. But I do believe that he needs it. But please do keep in mind, it's subjective. Obviously, everybody's going to have a different reaction. So it was on October 27th that she said, what celebrity woman who has her child's name copyrighted before birth would not be suing for child support and alimony on the 30th day her husband was MIA? Now, to me, well, let me finish it. Oh, right, because going to court requires that you show the judge proof. Why is not complaining about being stuck with the kids? Oh, the challenge of raising 2 children all alone. The longer the silence goes, the more questions she has to answer. Harry, too. Now, to me, what I interpret this as is she knows what's going on. She knows that papers have been filed. But she also knows what's not being asked for. Now, I've been through a divorce, so I understand how that paperwork goes. Not everybody would. But I understand how it works, that there is the filing, and then there is where you ask for the child support, and you ask for the alimony, and you ask for that before you have even, before the divorce is final, because there's that interim period where you need to have those things taken care of. So one would expect that if they are in the process of filing, which it sounds like she might know that is the case, it says that she hasn't seen the papers, but she had some pretty clear evidence. She also must know that those interim plans are not being made. And why not? Because then you have to come forward and say, I need to care for the children. Okay, well, prove that. What are your expenses? Give us the receipts of what you've spent on the children in the past, year, so we can figure out how much money you might need for that interim period. Well, if you can't prove that you've paid things for those kids, then you can't produce that evidence. Which I still say, I think that things are going to get very interesting, not just in terms of child support and the children and whether or not there are children. Obviously, that's a big thing. But the other issue is alimony. Because if Harry is here on any sort of a diplomatic visa, then he cannot officially have any sort of an income on the books. And if she can't prove that he's earning money, then how does she say she's entitled to money to maintain the lifestyle while any sort of illegal separation or divorce is decided upon? She's got to prove that he's been paying the bills in order to prove that she deserves any sort of an alimony payment. Now, as I said, the story was that it was originally Bookworm that gave that news. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not trying to take credit away from her or give it to her. I'm just saying that the way I came across the information, just to give you my perspective, so that's how I felt. When I read these things, I felt this because this was the information that I had. But yes, it was Bookworm that originally had notified that Harry filed for divorce from Meghan on the 23rd of October at 9:30 a.m. And that was, I received intel that Harry filed for divorce at 9:30 a.m. yesterday, USA Today still. I have no idea whether it is true, but I'll do my best to find out whether it is when I get back later today. Have a good day. See you all later. And like I said, most people are taking it with a grain of salt until and unless there is some sort of formal confirmation. Like Ana Rojas, there is no divorce. Did you see Meghan's orgasmic face when Serena Williams said, "We are facing royalty"? No old millionaire can offer her that. Even if they live separately, she will not let him. The fake pregnancy scams always unite them. Which I think is true. At this point, if they get a divorce, think of all that they will have to give answers on. Even if the answers are, yeah, we got 2 kids and here they are. Why then have you made this the mystery that you have? Like, there's no way they come out of this looking good, no matter what the truth is. Because at some point in time, they have fabricated or manipulated the information. And all of that would have to come out in a divorce. I kind of see what Ana Rojas is saying. Essentially, Meghan has been working for 6 years to give him no way out. Do we think that she screwed that up somehow? Because if they were to be getting a divorce, it's because he found a way out. My opinion, my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. So, now let's get into what some of the reactions were around Twitter. Especially, let's look at the squatties. So, this one, Livy. The fake barrister wants to know why Harry and Meghan are not giving her a way out of her lie by denying the divorce post. She's looking to blame her source and help her for stitching her up like a kipper. Well, no. Because if she was looking to blame her source, she'd just out and out blame her source. Like, I don't know. That's the most ridiculous comment. If she was looking to blame her source, all she has to do is, this was my source and this is what they said. But that's not at all what she's been doing. She has very much so said, just hold tight. We don't know everything yet. But this is, deny, deny, deny. I'm going to take a guess at this point that it's not actually the Sussex Squad being told to deny this. They're just denying it because they will have more trouble believing it than you or I will. Because they believe what they've been told all this time. There's no doubt in their heads. So they're going to have a lot more to come to terms with than you or I will. Here we go. Deja Hudson, Sussex Squad, H&M. Here comes all the speculation, predictions, and harassment from the British media. Prince Harry and Meghan are separated and headed for divorce. Prince Harry and Meghan are buying a holiday home in Portugal. To now interviewing supposedly local in Portugal. The definition of desperation. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's luxe $4.7 million Portuguese vacation compound. Harry and Meghan Markle and Prince Harry headed for divorce. Harry and Meghan buy a holiday home. So she's just basically saying that it's pathetic. But what it really is it's speculation. It could very well be intentionally competing narratives. Could I see that Harry's side is staying mum while the British media is saying what the heck is going on here? And meanwhile, Meghan putting out the story about the Portuguese home? Absolutely. I would not be surprised if that was the case. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that wouldn't surprise me. Basically, I don't think that the same people that are putting out the story that Meghan and Harry might be headed for divorce are the same people putting out the story of the holiday home in Portugal. And which one came first? We heard about the potential of a Portuguese home first. Why? Was Meghan, putting that out there before anything else was said so that whatever else came next was less believable? Could I see that? Absolutely. It couldn't be possible that the narrative of them divorcing has been in the tabloid for 5 years now, and what's the point of constantly denying something that obviously isn't true and makes zero impact if they didn't, and conspiracies popping up if either did deny it? She's best ignored. All these trolls want to be the first to be told to stop by the lawyers. It would be their claim to fame. Huh? That's the most ridiculous thing. Why would it be a claim to fame that the lawyers told them to stop? And I don't see any lawyers telling anyone to stop. In fact, Barrister Law USA is an attorney. I'm pretty sure she's not going to say anything that's going to get her in trouble with an attorney. And of course, Andy Sussex just going on, just ignoring that it's even happening. This was the moment I knew Prince Harry had met his soulmate. There was a natural sync, a sizzling chemistry, and a playfulness that I'd not seen with any royals before. This love was written in the stars. Love always wins. Yes, Andy, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Because wasn't it about 5 minutes before that screen capture of them going like that little thing together in synchronicity? Wasn't she clenching her jaw at Harry even speaking? Pretty sure she wasn't real happy with him at that moment. More from Zandy. When royal reporters are not busy gaslighting the public, they admit #thatfamily will never recover from the damage done by it bullying and harassing Harry and Meghan. Huh? H&M have become symbols of resistance against royal slavery. Yep, you heard that right. Royal tours may soon be over for good due to anger over slavery, Harry, and Meghan. There have been protests and calls for reparations over slavery during the King's visit to Australia and Samoa, along with disquiet over the situation for the Sussexes. The future of international royal tours looks shaky. Now, I get what they're saying about the situation with the reparations and the slavery. That is becoming a more recurring theme, but I'm not really sure where there is anybody that is saying royal tours should end because of Harry and Meghan and their resistance against royal slavery. I mean, come on. That's so ridiculous. Because they're the big, strong resistance, which is why, 10% believe that anything Meghan and Harry have said about the royal family is true? And here we go, the evil squatty, Purple Panda. So much effing projection from these hateful R-word bastards. Truth is, they are desperate. They thought why they did do would work. The fact it hasn't alerts the serfs and plebes that perhaps the royal hierarchy is all bullshit. Because it is bullshit. Well, Purple Panda, fortunately you don't know. Bullshit. These people are just absolutely amazing to me. The thing that gets me about this is it's pure propaganda. Because if on your Twitter timeline you see this over and over again by multitude of people, how long until you believe it? They don't have to believe what they're saying. They just have to repeat it. So that then their plebes and serfs, the squatties, they will believe it. We have this, and this is actually why it probably took me longer to make this video than I had expected it to, longer to put all the pieces together, because I would be reading, the squatty reaction, and next thing I know, I'm down, threads upon threads, where I'm just blown away by what they're saying in general. This is Lenore. Now, mind you, number one, there is the talk of divorce. So let's not address that at all. Let's go on with, I love these compositions between umbrellas and the beautiful Meghan. Each of these photographs is epic. What the hell is epic about this photograph? She's getting out of a car. She's got an umbrella and she's walking. What's epic about this photo? I mean, I understand it's irrelevant and whatnot. And I understand this is, Lenore for Sussex. She's just pandering and whatnot. But let's just look at this photo. Can someone explain to me what about this photo is epic? Epically boring? Because there's nothing in this photo that is something that's going to transcend time and be monumental. Now, if you were to show me the one where the two of them are under the umbrella with Meghan in that like turquoise type dress, fine. I can say that artistically that's an epic photo. This is nothing. It's her getting out of a car. Nothing epic. Of nothing epic. Really? Queen? She looks like a drowned rat in this photograph. I mean, I'm not just saying that night. I'm saying in particular in this photo, her skin has no brilliance. She's got the bizarre part. Half of her hair is curly. The other half is straight. This is not a photograph that compliments her. But this is what you're picking to say queen. And it's interesting because this may have been one of the few photos that you actually see where the bust on that dress doesn't look inverted. So maybe that's why she had to go with it. I don't know. But this is not complimentary to Meghan in any way, shape, or form, let alone does this say queen to me. It says drowned rat. I'm sorry, it does. Her skin is sallow. Her skin is 3 different colors. Nothing about this is an attractive photo for her. In fact, I will even go as far as to say Meghan is prettier than this. Why would you pick this photo? It's awful. My skin tone is very similar to Meghan's. I have kind of that olive tint to my skin tone. And I'm the person that, I go out in the sun for an hour and I'm tan as can be, never burn, that kind of a skin tone. But one thing that I would never do is wear a red dress. I would never, because it does have that effect on my skin tone. What it is that the red in the outfit, rather than bringing out any red in your skin tone, it tends to mute it, and you end up looking even more sallow and even more that kind of olive tinge to your skin. It takes out any of the natural vibrancy in your skin. For me, at least personally, I know that I don't wear red a lot because of this. And the fact that she would wear this dress not just once, but twice. And when you do wear it, when you do wear red and you have that skin tone and you do wear red, you have to be very careful with your makeup. And this particular evening, she most certainly was not. And this gets me every time. We were sitting there in the car and I thought, I recognize and respect and see that you are the queen. But in this moment, I am so grateful that there's a grandmother figure, because that feels like family. Now, Meghan had no respect for the queen. None whatsoever. So why do they push this narrative? I mean, it makes so little sense to me. They claim that the British family is horrible racists. The British royal family, I said British family, I meant British royal family, is racist. So why would they push any connection between her and the queen? They included the queen in that. So why, when trying to push her, do they push the queen? I don't get it. It seems to be cross purposes to me. See, like I said, I got very distracted because I found crazy things like this. I've never seen this photo before. It's awful. What the heck? She's got the glittery heart in the corner. She's got stripes going down, stripes going across. This is an awful picture. I've always loved this picture of Meghan. Yeah, and why are you posting it? Do you have a reason to post it? Or you're just posting a picture of Meghan? It's just so baffling to me. And I have to say, people who just randomly post pictures of Catherine, are they doing the same thing? Which one is the reaction to the other? I don't know. But if I post a picture of Catherine, there's a reason. I don't understand why they're just randomly posting a picture of Meghan looking like, that rather tacky come hither stare. I don't get it. I have to admit, I just don't get it. You can see here, you can look at the dates. This is what they were posting when I was taking the screenshots. So here you got My Princess. And the reason I singled this one out, how often do you see photos of Catherine primping at the mirror? Not even just Princess Catherine. How many times do you see this of anybody? Who takes a picture of themselves looking at themselves? You know what I mean? And yet Meghan seems to do it an awful lot. Taking pictures of herself, looking at herself in the mirror. Yeah, worship her. You can see how these are the ridiculous. I mean, it's not a rabbit hole because I'm just looking at pictures. But this is how I got so distracted when trying to find things, is because I found so many ridiculous things. I was like, who does this? Who looks at themselves in a mirror and takes pictures of it? And it's not like this is the only one. She does it a lot. And we have this. Nothing like the bond between mother and daughter. We love you, Meghan. Doria. Meghan. Yeah, how is that bond going? When was the last time that we saw Doria and Meghan together? Yes, so bonded. I don't even know if that picture is real. That's where I'm at with these two. I don't know if that picture is real. And if I don't know whether or not that picture is real, how do I believe any sort of bond exists? She is someone that looks for great depth and meaning and an intention in what she engages in. More in Harryman about Meghan. I truly miss more on here on X, but I can understand why he left. Do you miss him? Because most of us feel grateful that we don't have to listen to him whine and moan about things on a daily. I mean, I got pretty tired of watching Moore and Harryman cry. Believe it or not. So, yeah, you might miss him. I personally am glad he's not around. We have I Am Sage. And if you're on X, you'll know these will be recognizable names to you because these are the squatties that you see over and over again. I see the desperation for Harry and Meghan content has hit the shores of Australia. We all know this headline is a lie. Do we? Do we know that? No, you may think that. No one knows. Harry and Meghan were together in Colombia, the bookstore opening, and at Kelly's charity tennis match a day before Harry's birthday. These all happened in the last 2 months. So, how have Harry and Meghan not been seen together for the last 3 months when they were photographed together last month? Also, just goes to show how desperate the media is for H&M content. They're in withdrawal, and their reporting is going to get more and more unhinged. You see what they're doing? She's setting the stage so that when any of the news breaks, they can deny it and say, see, we told you they were going to get more and more unhinged. It's all very clear manipulation and setting the stage so that they can have their cover story when things start coming out. Internally, I hope H&M are laughing their asses off at the media's desperation. There's no other high-profile person on the face of this planet that faces demands to show themselves more than Harry and Meghan. What she doesn't understand about Columbia, the bookstore opening, and Kelly's charity match, and I think, by the way, it's odd that she says Kelly's charity match. What she doesn't understand is none of those were corroborated by outside media. None of that is unbiased media saying, yes, they were definitely here. How do we know when that Columbia trip happened? How do we know? We only know when we saw and were told this is happening live. We don't know if it's true because the media was controlled by Harry and Meghan. And again, right before Harry's birthday. Well, we also got reports that Harry spent his birthday camping with buddies. So was he with his wife or was he camping with buddies? Because we've heard both stories. How can we believe that they were together at a charity match when they weren't supposedly even together and Harry was potentially in the UK? And they don't seem to understand that. Or they do. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I Am Sage, she understands. This is her job. Her job is to push the propaganda. Sage's pearls of wisdom. Ugh, barf. If he comes to Toronto, do squatties want me to do some on-the-ground reporting? I really, really don't want to see the deadbeat dad and his horse concubine, but if squatties want to know the tea, then I'll take one for the team. Are you freaking, like, I don't even talk about Joe Biden that way. I mean, that's how bad it is. That's how disrespectful. They really have no ability to respect anybody in any sort of position of power. And I think that might be it. They hate the fact that anyone is in a position of power above them. So they don't know how to treat them with respect. Now I have to wrap up here, primarily because Guinness has decided that he wants to play with a squeaky toy. And so he's playing that right next to me, and I apologize if you hear any squeaks. But I saw this today, and it kind of gave me a couple minutes pause to think. The world does not revolve around the United States of America. There are another 194 countries in the world. There are other major events happening on that week besides the U.S. presidential election, such as a special meeting of the UN Counterterrorism Committee, APEC Economic Leaders Week, and Greenbuild International Conference. Meg's terrorists get themselves into quite a tiz every time William does anything. Well, the problem with this is I generally believe William will make a good king. But if you're going to tell me that Prince William does not care who wins the election as the leader of the free world, then you're telling me he's not going to make a good king. Not only is the U.S. the most powerful country at this time, they are also the staunchest allies of the UK. And if Prince William doesn't care about who's the leader of that staunch allied nation, then he's going to be a terrible king. So I prefer to think he's going to be a good king, in which case he's well aware, he's watching the election carefully, as are most people who understand the importance of the U.S. in the geopolitical situation and the tremendous change that will take place if Trump wins the election, because that's gonna change everything, basically. So I hope you enjoyed this. I thought this was a little bit of a fun way to kind of see what the squatties are up to, see what they're thinking these days. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you very much for listening. Please keep dancing and have a great day.
Dancing